Well, hi everyone. Welcome back to the Able Gardener, and welcome back to another sunny California day. We've had quite a few days of sun and it's just been gorgeous out here, but we do have a storm coming in, I think day after tomorrow, so I want to get as much done in the garden as I can. And I've been out just refurbishing my garden beds, building them up with some peat moss, worm castings, and a lot of compost out of my compost pile. So the beds are looking good. And what I want to do is plant some lettuce and some tatsoi today, and possibly some cabbage. But the problem I have today is my lettuce is just really overcrowded in the 6-cell pot that it comes in. Now I got this from my nursery. Each one of the cells has probably 4 to 6 pretty well established romaine lettuce, and I want to get those separated and do as little harm to the roots as possible while I'm separating them. And the other thing I want to plant is some tatsoi. I planted that and I overplanted my tatsoi, so it's really crowded in the cells. I want to get that separated too and get as many tatsoi out of that as possible, get those in my garden. And all I'm going to need today is either a bucket of water or even a small bowl or medium-sized bowl with water. And the water I've got in my bucket is out of our rain catch system, so it's pretty clear water, nice and clean. So I'll be separating these guys over at the garden table, but just before I do that, I wanted to show you guys what I have here, just in case any of you see this and you want to know why I have a construction mesh in my garden box. And that's because after working in my beds and getting the soil all fluffed up and ready to go, my cat really likes to use this as a kitty litter box. She likes to use this for a restroom. Anyway, I put these construction mesh in my boxes and she doesn't get in here to use it as a litter box. I don't know why. I guess it's because of the wire, or she can't, I don't know. I've got bees coming around me and I think they're thirsty because they seem to be going for the water. Anyway, construction mesh, I put it in the boxes so the cat doesn't get in here. So it's just a little hint. Maybe you guys could use that in your garden boxes or in your garden bed. And they're not very expensive, only about $7.50, something like that, at Home Depot. And I picked up quite a few of these. I've got, I don't know, maybe 10 or 12 of them that I use as trellises. But in the garden boxes, they're really great. They're 4 by 8. My garden boxes are 4 by 8, so it works out just perfect. The other thing is it works as a really great grid when you're planting, especially lettuce and tatsoi, things like that don't get really huge. The grid is about, or the openings are about 8 to 10 inches apart, so it's really great for planting your small vegetables. Works out really well. Anyway, let's get back to separating the roots of my lettuce and my tatsoi. And like I said, I'll take you over to the garden table and we'll get that done. And before I go over there, I did want to say, before you try to separate the roots of your plants, it's probably a good idea to probably take them out of the cells and soak them in some water overnight, because it starts loosening up the soil and then you'll have a little bit of a head start. So that's what I did with my lettuce. Let's go over to the table and I'll get these guys separated. Let me get started separating some of my lettuce. I already did some yesterday along with the tatsoi. I'm just going to finish this lettuce up today. And I'll be using a small white bowl. I believe you guys can probably see better in that than the large blue bucket. As I previously mentioned, I soaked this overnight in some rainwater, or just, you don't have to use rainwater, you can use regular water. And so the soil is already loosened up. And what we're going to do is just shake this around just gently in the water, loosening up the rest of the soil. Now I know the roots are holding these plants together, but the soil is the other half that's holding it together. So we need to get most of the soil out of the roots. And I am getting, like I said, 4 to 6 plants out of each one of these cells. And they're pretty well established lettuce. You can see that the trunk of the plant here is fairly large. Well, one thing I want to do is time myself and see how long it takes to separate the roots of these, well, probably four or five plants. And just to show that it doesn't take a lot of time to do this, you just have to get the bowl, get the water, have your plants, and it's pretty easy to do. So I've already shaken them around just a little bit, and they're already starting to fall apart. Just going to take off a few of these broken leaves. I don't know why, but taking them off. You can see that most of the soil is already gone out of the roots, so now all we have to do is get the rest of the soil and separate the roots. And I'm going to dump out this dirty water and get some clear water into my bowl. There we go. Now I can see what's going on a little bit better. If you take your plants, pull them just gently apart while you're moving them around in the water, and slowly the roots just start coming apart. Don't pull it so hard though that you know that you're breaking roots off. Only reason that you should do that is if they're really attached to each other and there's just no way you can get them apart. Then I would say go ahead and break a few of the roots, but you want to maintain as much of the root system as possible. Also, if any of your plants are dead and you know that they're not going to survive, I would just go ahead and break those off at the base of the stem and get those out of your way. And there's one nice romaine lettuce with either all the roots or most of the roots attached. I'm going to set this in the bucket of water and get the rest taken apart. And on my watch there, it looks like it's taken 2 minutes to do that first one, which isn't very much time at all. So really, if you have 4 to 5 plants, it's going to take you about 4 to 5 minutes. Not much time. There we go. There's number 2. Look at that root system. Isn't that pretty? Get that in the bucket. And these other 2 small ones just come right apart. That's a nice looking lettuce also. Here's my watch. I've had maybe 2 to 3 minutes go by. I guess I'm stressing that this doesn't really take a lot of time. If you think that it's time consuming to do this, it doesn't take much time at all. The overnight soaking in water really does a good job on loosening up the soil. I had done this with some of my lettuce yesterday and didn't have it soaked overnight, and it took just a little bit more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 plants in this one cell. It's a really good thing that they're more mature plants because I can hold on to the stem without fear of breaking it off. Once you break off that stem, then you have a dead plant, and you don't want that to happen. The smaller ones, of course, don't have as much of a root system, so they come apart rather easy. There we go. Last 2 more established plants, more of an established root system. And clocked right at 5 minutes to get the 3 cells of these lettuce apart. So not bad at all. Go over to the garden and get these planted. Well, everyone, thanks for being with me today and watching me separate the roots of my overcrowded plants. If you've ever run across anything like that, or you may in the future, hopefully you picked up on a few hints on how you can do that and do it with, well, as little damage to the roots as possible. Anyway, like I said, thanks for joining me, and happy gardening, everyone. God bless. Bye-bye.